Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube segment, I'm going to be talking about the death of a 33-year-old young man named Brandon Embry. This was a person that was found dead laying next to his bathtub. It was in Asheboro, North Carolina on September 12th of 2019. And this is something which was ruled a death by self-inflicted wounds and pneumonia. It looks very suspicious to me. I think it was actually the crime or the manner of death was ostensibly murder. And the thing was, he was found with multiple or very extensive bruising and cuts on his body. There were blood stains or prints on the on at least one wall in the house. The apartment, that he was found in was looked very disheveled, and it was stated it appeared to be ransacked, and the place was just completely dismantled and annihilated. And he was found with next to the bathtub with the water running, and there was blood in the bathtub. And the way I look at it, if they rule this as first of all, it's a little bit ambiguous, the ruling, because when you're saying, okay, the person was ruled, the death was ruled being attributed to self-inflicted wounds and pneumonia, are you saying that it's suicide? Are you saying that just the combination of that actually led to his death? That to me, but they're basically saying that it was more that this was not a homicide, no matter how you look at it. And the thing was, I think, well, seeing this, I know begging isn't proper, but I beg to differ as far as what was ascertained as the manner of death. And we don't really know this. The police department and whoever was over that Asheboro in North Carolina, that city, as far as law enforcement goes, I just wonder what was really, why they would rule this something with self-inflicted wounds, or if it was even the coroner. May have been the coroner. I don't know if it was ruled by law enforcement or the coroner. May have been the coroner. But whoever did this, it seems erroneous to me. And the thing about it is, there's people that, likely whoever committed this, presumably, if this was indeed a homicide, that they have not been apprehended because of the ruling, and they're likely out scot-free right now, meandering the streets and not being punished and facing the repercussions for their crime. So this is a time where this is something. This has been about a year and a half where this transpired, and I'm hoping that there will be reopening of this, or some kind of investigation into this deeper. I'm thinking if more people actually they make their statements about this, they become active as far as whether it's through videos or posting blogs on the suspicions surrounding the ruling of this death, it actually could gain more attention. And through promoting this could be a way where maybe justice can be served. Because I really don't believe that this was a homicide. Because if somebody is going to, I'm sorry, I don't believe it was, whether suicide or it was self-inflicted. Because if somebody's going to do something to themselves to kill themselves, it probably would be much easier. It would, they would do it in a way where it would be, much quicker. It would be facile and easy, as opposed to something that would require more effort. And to me, it just seems preposterous to think that somebody would actually, try to, kill themselves by giving themselves multiple, wounds and cuts. To me, it does have the makings. This looks like a very ruthless and vicious beating is what happened, sadly. And whether I don't know why again, why this was ruled, why they really, what was the, did they not investigate this extensively enough? Um, this is something, sadly, that, I'm sure there's a lot of other cases like this in the world, United States or what have you, where you have what appears to be erroneous ruling, but this thing just needs to get out there more so people can be more cognizant of what went down and do something to perhaps get somebody to reopen this case. And it seemed like they ruled it very quickly and without really investigating this thoroughly. So uh, the the mother, Sarah Lee, had stated that his injuries resembled something in a car wreck, and to me that doesn't, that can't, I really don't see how that could be attributed to a suicide. And what happened was he was found, he was found in the state, I would say presumably close to death at that time. According to something on Stitcher.com, it was some link with the Catch My Killer episode number 65, and it was stated he was found about that officers had responded to the call about him being hurt at about 3:20 p.m. And also too, on September 12th, I believe he died the next day, though it was in September 13, 2019 is when his death took place. But again, it was ruled dying from pneumonia and self-inflicted wounds. I think this really, it does need to be reopened, this case, because again, I think that it was ostensibly murder. Homicide was actually that would have been the correct ruling of death, and if it had been ruled that way, there could have been an investigation, and likely these perpetrators would have been apprehended and punished by now. So I do think, to me, it doesn't seem like this could not have been a suicide or death through self-inflicted wounds, pneumonia. It's something that really needs to be looked at more thoroughly, and I hope somebody will have it in them to actually do it. There'll be some investigator that will be willing to do this. I don't know if somebody like a private investigator can be hired to look at something like this. That is, apparently it's a closed case now, but that would be something to consider if that is a possibility. And again, it's just terrible, very tragic that somebody, 33 years old, very near the prime of his life, had to perish what appeared to be a very, very brutal, but through very brutal means. And I do hope that, based on what I believe, that somebody, killed him, that those people are person or persons are brought to justice sooner than later. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.